What's up, guys? Show is back, and today I've got a review for you, and it's on this. This is called the K.loud RDA, and I'll post it from whom it's by. I'm not sure who made this, I forgot. Nonetheless, I just wanted to update you guys real quick on the Vortex RDA. I know there was a lot of comments on how to fix it, this and that, and blah blah blah. All I want to say towards that is that I was not able to find a fix. In fact, there were some more mishaps that happened, and I will make a follow-up video on that Vortex. Don't you worry. But just want to say that I sent my Vortex back, and now I'm getting the version 2 because the first one had, like you saw from my video, a lot of defects with it. So let's get on with it, shall we? So today we have our new well, it's not new, it's actually an older RDA, but I actually discovered it recently, and there's not much about it on YouTube or Google or whatnot. It's not very famous for some reason. I think it's absolutely magnificent. It's really good on the flavor. It delivers. I mean, it's got an awesome design. Nothing that I have personally seen before or used before, matter of fact. It's very simple. I'm just using it at about 40 watts at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and right now the coil is reading 0.13 ohms, and I'm using it on my Invader Mini mod. So as you can see, I mean, it's not crazy amounts of clouds, but it's decent for what it is. For it being just purely based on a flavor addy, it delivers the flavor. I'll tell you that much. It's really good. I like it. I actually, in fact, love it. It's really good. As you can see, I mean, clouds are there. It's not a cloud addy at all. This would be close to, what would I compare it to? Kind of like the Veritas RDA. Veritas, you know, it was amazing. It still is amazing. Still in my top 5 RDAs. One of the best flavors I've ever had out of that RDA. And, you know, it produces some clouds. You know, it's good enough. It's enough for you to know, yeah, you know what, you're vaping. Anyways, let's get up close and personal with this RDA, and I'll show you what it's all about. Alright guys, there we go. So here's the K.loud RDA. As you can see, this is not a authentic one, this is a clone, but it does the job really well. Let's take this off this Invader Mini, and let's have a better look at it. So basically the cap comes off like so. This is not the original drip tip that came with it. The original one that came with this, and that comes in the original one, as you can tell, there's not original packaging. It's just a China clone. It's actually a really good clone. I'm very surprised. Usually clones are very bad. Not very bad, but you know, they're not really that good. This is the original drip tip that comes with it. I don't like to use it because the bore of it is really tiny, as you can see. The hole is not very big. It gets a lot of juice buildup in there and whatnot, so I don't like to use that one as much. And then they give you that little blue screwdriver that comes with almost every other RDA out there. Not only that, they give you one nut and one screw with it, and a single O-ring which goes around the outside of the RDA, as you can see here. Dual airflow RDA, and I like to use this. I think it's called the POM drip tip, POM. It's fully made by Delrin. This is my favorite drip tips of all time. Like, I love Delrin drip tips. Anyways, as you can see, this is from the inside of it. It's very simple, straightforward, nothing crazy. There's one hole right here, and then there's another hole right here, as you can see. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could just put your mouth on this and use it, but with that comes a tiny bit of spit back, which I don't like, and that's why I like my palm drip tips, because they have a little edge around there, and most of the spit back goes in there. There's not much spit back with this RDA, but you know, it still helps. Anyways, putting this aside, let's take a look at this guy. So as you can see, I've got I have a nickel build in there. It's a single coil 28 gauge nickel build, and this is the airflow from the sides. If you can see right there, that's the airflow. As you can see, the coil right through there, and there's the other airflow. And basically, both of these airflows they come from one from this side and one from this side, and they hit the coil right there in the middle. Um, Other than that, and then wicking for it is a little bit different. I will make later on. I'll make a build video for this. I don't have the time for it to do today. Today I'm just gonna be reviewing it and just showing you what it is and whatnot, and so on and so forth. So let me go ahead, and this is actually a tank. So it's actually not an RDA, it's an RTA. It holds about between 1.1 and 1.3 milliliters of juice. I mean, it's quite sufficient. I like it. The build, the quality, and this material right here is called Ultim. It's pretty resistant to heat, and that's why they use it. So you don't have to worry about your wire or the heat in here melting this plastic away. Other than that, let's just take this Ultim tank off here so I can show you what the base of it looks like and whatnot. Alright guys, so let's take this base off of here, and let's see what we got. I don't like juice touching my hands because it gets kind of sticky and whatnot, and I really don't like that. So I'm just gonna lock my device here. Gonna clean this up because I don't like touching all that juice. Anyway, and there's some modification I did to this RDA, which I will tell you when we get back to normal view. Because the way it comes, I don't like it the way it comes from factory. So let's grab our screwdrivers here, and let's grab this one. So it has these two screws up top, one right here and one right here. You take this off, and then you take off the whole tank. You pull off the whole tank. All right, so let's do this. That's what we're talking about. That's it for that. And make sure that you don't strip these screws, these long ones, because they don't give you any extras for this one. And I'm guessing that it would be pretty difficult to find new ones to replace this one with. So this tank comes off like so. Okay, we'll just put that aside for just a second here. Okay, so basically I take a Kogan dough strip of cotton, and I cut it in half, and then I take that half, fold that half in half, and then I basically put it through here. After that, you take one side, and then you put it through one side and the other one through the other side. The build deck itself is very tiny, so you have to be very careful when you're doing your builds and stuff in there, because it gets really tiny and hard to work with. It is a little bit of a pain to put a build on here. That's why I don't want to rip this one out, because I'm trying to finish this juice before I put in my next new juice. And when I do that, I'll make a build video for it, and I'll take you through step by step. Anyways, if I move this cotton up over here, as you can see right there's a little channel, and what you have to do is put the cotton right through there, and what they tell you to do is put it right against up it. But I don't like that, because that kind of prevents the juice from wicking to it perfectly. So what I like to do is take that cotton, take that strip, put it out a little bit further, don't get in those holes because that's where the screws will go, and basically take that cotton, line it up against that juice channel down there, and just bring the cotton out a little bit, because in this here, if you see there's those little cutouts right in there in that tank. That cutout matches up with the channels of juice, which is going right beside that build deck, and because of that, you have to make sure that the cotton goes between there. If not, then your wicking capabilities will suffer a little bit. So this is the tank. This is what holds all the juice for you and whatnot. Like I said, it holds about 1.1 to 1.3 milliliters of juice, which is pretty decent. I mean, you're good for about, I'd say about 30 to 40 hits. I mean, that's pretty darn good. And it all comes in a nice small package. It's very compact. I like it. And because of that reduced chamber, it has ultimate flavor. Because once you put this tank on, the chamber becomes really, really tiny. And that's why this thing packs a punch when it delivers on flavor. And the flavor is So good. I would rate it 10 out of 10. Honestly, it's really good on flavor. The other thing you might notice over here is that there's no O-rings on this deck, which is a little bit odd. But even despite that there's no O-rings, this thing does not leak. Now there is one other thing. When you saw that I took off the cap, there was some buildup on this thing. And because there was some buildup on this, it's because of that reduced chamber, and there's a lot of condensation going on and whatnot. But you won't have the juice leaking from the edges of this tank. All right, so let's put this back on. I just wanted to show you what it is. Here's one good look before we go back to normal view. All right, so let's put this tank back on. And what you have to do is you have to put this edge on here first. Put the front edge on there first, and after that, make sure that none of that cotton is getting stuck anywhere else, which can be a little tricky sometimes. So now we're just gonna tighten this up over here. And that's pretty good. You don't want to go crazy tight. Again, it makes a pretty good seal when it's on there by itself, and does a heck of a job. It's good. And let's go back to normal view, and I'll tell you some pros and cons about this RDA. There was one thing I forgot to mention. I guess one of the most important things was how you fill up this tank. And the way you fill this up is that if you see on top, there's two holes. The bigger one that you see over there, that's where you fill from, and that's the tinier hole right there. That's a breathing hole. So when you're filling this up, so that there's not pressure build up, so that the juice does not leak from the front of this RDA or this RTA. I keep calling it RDA. Technically, anyways. So that's the reason why, and that's why you have one big hole over there, and then you have the one smaller hole right there. So I'm gonna try and fill this up right now. So basically, you put this in there, put the needle in there, and then you just fill this up. See? All right, and that's pretty much full to the top, as you can see over here. See, there's just a little air bubble over there. So that's filled to the top. And then after that, you just take your cap, you line these holes up, these outside holes up with this RDA, and you see there's tiny little notches over here. See, there's one notch here, and then there's another notch right there. So, and then that's where the air holes are sitting. So basically you take this and you line it up with those notches right there, and then you put, oh, I have the other way around. Then you put it down. And then you can just spin it. So now those holes are lined up with those notches, and now that they're lined up with those notches, you're pretty much ready to go and vape. And sorry about the quality of the video. I don't do these. I haven't done these videos much, and I don't do them on a regular basis, so I'm a little shaky on doing all these close-ups and whatnot. So hopefully with time I shall get better. But nonetheless, so here's the K.loud RDA. So as you can see, I mean, clouds are pretty good. Flavor is awesome. You have to try it to believe it. It's really, really good flavor. Compare this to the Vortex. Flavor-wise, I think the Vortex still takes it over on flavor, but that's only if you can get a build on it. At least in the version 2, they said they fixed it, but we shall see when I get one in. Other than that, the flavor on it is really good. And the couple of little things that I wanted to mention was that when you first get this RTA, this comes, the outside on the stainless steel cap, it comes with 2mm holes, right? But the Ultim, the plastic that I was talking about, that comes with 1mm airflow holes. and that's not a very good combination. It's I mean, I do like a tighter inhale, but that was just a super tight inhale, and I did not like it. So what I did, I got myself a couple of drill bits. I got a 1.6 millimeter, which is a 1/16th drill bit, so which is right here, 1/16th, and then I got myself another one, which was 2 millimeter, which is 5/64th. Because the thing is, it is Ultim, it is plastic, it is a little bit on the cracky side. You know, it's quite rigid, so you don't want to just take the 2 millimeter and bore it straight in, because you have a chance of cracking that plastic. So what I did was I took the 1.6 millimeter, which is 1/16th drill bit. I took that and I drilled that through first. Okay, following the original holes, obviously. So I drilled that through first. After drilling that through, after that, I took the 2 millimeter, which is the 5/64th drill bit. I took that and then I used that to drill in right after the 1.6, and that way I do not have any cracks in the tank or anything like that. And once I did that, that's when it was really, really good. It, you know, the performance of it was amazing. Also, I bought this from eBay. I got it for $20 shipped to America for free, and it got here in like 3 days, which was quite awesome. I'll leave you guys a link if you want to see where I bought it from, the exact one. The pros, it's good quality. Okay, quality is really good on this. The flavor is subpar, like it is awesome. Flavor is really good on this RTA, sorry. And the drip tip, it's okay. Well, also in the pros, the price point, at least for the clone. The clone was only $20, so I mean you can't go wrong with it. And the cons, the airflow is super tight, but once you bore it out to 2 millimeter on both sides, you have nothing to worry about. Since the outside on the cap, the holes are 2 millimeters, everything matches up and it performs beautifully. Okay. Now, the drip tip as well, I did not like the drip tip. Some people might, but I didn't like it because there was a lot of juice built up in that drip tip, and because of that reason, I didn't like it. The other thing that I wanted to show you was that now, if you look very closely, there's a tiny little gap from this regular 510 drip tip. These are the only drip tips that I have, unfortunately. And when you put this down, because the atomizer is so short and there's a tank right underneath it, this drip tip does not go flush all the way down. I mean, for some people that might be a subjective con, but to me, I'm very picky about stuff like this, but on this one, I let it slide because it outperforms everything, and because of the performance through the performance on the flavor side of things, I mean, it's amazing, and I don't mind living with a tiny little gap between my drip tip and the top of the Addy. And the other question that a lot of you guys might have is that if I were to lose this today, would I go out and get another one? And the answer is hell yes. I mean, for $20, you can't go wrong. And if I could have multiples of these, it would be awesome. One more thing I forgot to mention was that you can actually put your all kinds of juices. You can put 100% VG, you can put 80-20, 80 VG, 20 PG, 70-30. The one that I have in here is about a 75-25, 70. It's between 70-30 and 80-20 VG PG blends, and the way this wicks, because every time you tilt it, that cotton gets soaked up. You don't get any dry hits. Despite that, I mean, obviously I have a nickel build in here. They're not supposed to, but what I mean to say is that the wicking capability of it is super good. It is very good, and I'm very impressed about that. Anyways, this video is running a little bit long than I anticipated, and I think it's time to say goodbye. So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. You know, rate, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys all watching my videos, and hopefully there will be more to come. So, keep on vaping, stay away from smoking, and I'll see you guys in the next one.